Risk of surface water flooding as well as risk of thunderstorms, so lightning and hail too. It will dry up for a little bit into the afternoon, and many areas will see a dry and sunny afternoon, but there's a risk of some of those thundery downpours as well into the afternoon, so that warning does continue. But in the sunshine, it's going to feel quite hot with temperatures reaching 27 degrees. Another pretty dry day to come across northern areas on Thursday, but to the south it's going to be another wet one with another batch of heavy thundery rain sweeping its way northwards. There's another warning in force, that's for that risk of surface water flooding. So do stay tuned to the forecast if you're in England and Wales. And the bank holiday looks a little bit showery. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
It's brand new and it's the big one. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could win this brand new 4-berth motorhome. But that's just the beginning, as we'll also give you a whopping £35,000 in tax-free cash to spend, save, or just to use to enjoy adventures in your new motorhome.
For a chance to win, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB23 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 23rd of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel. As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From cold mornings
to warm family brunches.
From football to tennis in the car.
In the kitchen.
GB News Breakfast is there. With the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
We're here again to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Good evening, you're watching State of the Nation on GB News with me, Alex Armstrong, standing in for Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg, of course, on the programme tonight.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
Of course, as you've been hearing, the legendary country singer Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80 after a lengthy health battle. Parton was one of the most successful and beloved songstresses, of course, fashion icons and philanthropists in the world. We will take a look at her extraordinary life. State of the Nation starts now. We're joined by my esteemed panel tonight, the Assistant Content Editor at The Spectator, William Atkinson, and the Labour Councillor, Stuart Fawcett. But first, we're going to get your news with Sophia Wensler.
Alex, thank you and good evening. Your headlines at 8 o'clock. Now, as you've been hearing, country music legend Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80. Dolly was best known for her music with hit songs like Jolene and I Will Always Love You, but she was also known for acting and philanthropy. Miss Parton's husband, Carl Dean, died last year, after which she suffered a recent spell of bad health that forced her to cancel appearances and concerts. Her nephew today confirmed she passed away peacefully. US President Donald Trump has taken to Truth Social to pay tribute to the country legend, saying the US flags will be lowered for a week in honour of Dolly Parton. Police have arrested 5 more people, including a 16-year-old boy, in connection with a 2-vehicle collision on the A66 near Middlesbrough on Saturday. Cleveland Police confirmed a new group of individuals had been detained in connection with the incident and they remain in custody. It brings the total number of people arrested in the investigation to 17, as 12 had already been arrested. The police officers PC Matthew Blaze and PC Tom Clough were killed when a Volkswagen driving the wrong way on the A66 collided with their car. 5 young men travelling in the VW were killed in the crash. The Police Federation of England and Wales says young people are baiting police officers with dangerous driving. The head of the CIA has travelled to Moscow for unannounced talks, according to US media reports. John Ratcliffe reportedly arrived in the Russian capital earlier today, with flight data tracking data confirming a large US military aircraft travelled there today and left later. Before the visit, Washington told counterparts in Ukraine to suspend strikes on Russia until the delegation had left Moscow, according to reports. Neither Washington or Moscow have confirmed the nature of the visit or who he was due to meet. In-person talks between high-level American and Russian officials is rare. It's understood the visit coincides with a US intelligence report warning that Russia might soon attempt to escalate tensions with NATO by mounting a small land incursion or launching cyber attacks in Eastern Europe. Canada has announced retaliatory tariffs on the United States, covering around $20 billion of product. It comes after US President Donald Trump announced a 50% tariff on a range of Canadian goods after trade talks collapsed over the weekend. Canada's counter-tariffs are due to take effect from the 8th of September. Intense thunderstorms and heavy rain across much of England and Wales could cause travel disruption this week, according to forecasters. The Met Office said a band of heavy showers and thunderstorms is expected to move northwards tomorrow morning. It is likely to be one of the most widespread outbreaks of heavy rain across southern and central parts of the UK this summer. Those are the latest GB News headlines. Now it's back to Alex.
Tune in to GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player, on Nation Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Good evening. Breaking news. The legendary country singer Dolly Parton has, of course, died at the age of 80 after a lengthy health battle. The legendary singer spent over 65 years in the music industry, performing some of the country's biggest ever hits, including 9 to 5, Jolene and Islands in the Steam. Dolly Parton was also renowned for her charity work, particularly book charities for children in deprived areas. Should we take a look back at the life of Dolly Parton?
Jolene, 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 Jolene.
The Queen of Country, Dolly Parton, is known all over the world for her music, her songwriting, and of course, her signature look. Famously born in Tennessee, she was one of 12 children. But by the age of 10, she was already writing and performing songs. And by 21, she had her first album. Since then, she sold more than 100 million records globally.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are.
Launched a lifelong musical partnership with Kenny Rogers.
Are you having fun so far?
and performed on some of the biggest stages worldwide. And yet, she's always in 70 years, she never wanted to stop.
Yeah, I love it all. I hope to be working till the day I die.
A global icon, she loved the camera, and the camera loved her. Yet she always maintained that the way she looked wasn't all she had to offer.
I think you can be very feminine and pretty if you want to be. Still be a strong woman. I've proved that all through the years. Not that I'm pretty, but I like to make up, and I like to kind of feel like I'm feminine with my makeup and hair, but that's just my personality. You don't have to wear makeup to be important.
In fact, her songwriting ability led her to create one of the most famous songs ever recorded, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. She also gained multiple on-screen credits, most famously in comedy film 9 to 5 and as the town gossip in 1989 classic Steel Magnolias.
This is my favorite part. This is the romantic part. Now, see, that's what really melts my butter.
And with the success came the rewards. But despite winning countless Grammys, Tonys and Golden Globes, being honoured with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and being inducted into various halls of fame, Dolly always stayed humble.
It's very, very special. This is one of the greatest compliments I've ever been paid in my whole life, because I always loved to write songs. I always pride myself on that.
Outside of her musical career, she was also an extremely successful entrepreneur, co-owning Tennessee theme park Dollywood. She also launched her own charity, the Imagination Library, which donated millions of books to children all over the world, and she wrote the score for the smash hit show 9 to 5, the musical. Dolly Parton, a music legend, a style icon, and an all-round country superstar.
There we go. What a lovely obituary there of Dolly Parton. I'm now joined by GB News' entertainment editor, Alex Davies, to tell us more. Alex, a massive cultural icon, unfortunately lost today.
Yeah, and as Sophie said in that amazing obituary there, just so much more than a singer. She was multi-generational. She crossed regions, she crossed the political divide. People across the entire world knew Dolly Parton. They knew her songs, they knew her philanthropic work, her charity work, her stage show. She really was a force to be reckoned with. 100 million records sold worldwide. She wrote over 3,000 songs. I mean, the statement from her team says it best. They branded her a global icon and humanitarian, known the world over as a beloved singer, songwriter, philanthropist, actress, playwright and author. And she died in Nashville, Tennessee. Where else for such a country icon? They said in the statement, a rhinestone life that shone bright enough for the world to see. Dolly will forever stand as an inspiration, not only through her timeless music and prolific songwriting, but also her wit, warmth and kindness that made us all feel like family. And that is a sentiment that is being expressed across the globe. Even President Trump has taken to Truth Social to announce that he will be lowering the US flag for the next week from 6 p.m. today in her memory. Her death does come as a surprise to some. She's been battling health issues for a while now. She's had to cancel a residency in Vegas this year, and as early as December last year cancelled a few other shows. But as recently as last Friday, she released a statement to the US outlet People, going through her plans to return, promising a tour that her fans had never seen before. She said she was still healing, she was looking forward to coming back to the stage, and even though she was still healing, she was still working, and that was on Friday. She did what she loved right until the very end, and it's a testament to her character and her hard work. Like you said, 65 years in show business. You know, there's not many people who can cross generations like she did, cross the political divide like she did. We all know her songs, we all know her acting work, and this is just a really, really big loss, not just for country music, but for music as a whole.
Alex, she's of course become a global sensation, not just a sensation in America. She exported country music all over the world. What's the impact she's had here in Britain?
Oh, profound. You know, like I said, you just said it best there. She didn't just cross regions in America. She crossed the political and the divide here as well. Everybody in the UK knows a Dolly Parton song. Everybody in the UK knows the stage show 9 to 5. This is somebody who, without doubt, is one of the biggest musicians that, I was going to say, my generation's ever seen. The generation previously and probably the generation before that. You know, how many people at the age of 80, as I mentioned earlier, can still be plotting another tour to come out and still have that demand and that appetite still be there from their fan base in Vegas, of all places. You know, you had Noddy Holder's wife on earlier with a fantastic tribute to Dolly Parton as well. As I mentioned, her nephew was the one who did this statement on Instagram. He was a very lengthy statement. He said that Dolly had asked him to do it a few months ago, preparing for this moment, and I believe we should be able to hear some of it now.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian Seaver, son of Cassie Parton, and I'm representing the Parton and Owens family today, announcing the passing of my Aunt Dolly, Rebecca Parton Dean. As her head of security for more than 2 decades, a role my father Larry held before me, I have imagined the heaviness of this moment, but haven't truly felt it until now. It is an honor that is mixed with absolute pride and great sadness. But sadness lies with us, not with Dolly. Dolly has lived in the light and is in the arms of Jesus, surely met by Carl, her parents, and countless others who have watched her and longed for her to meet them in the heavens. My family and I have shared a lifetime of beautiful memories with Dolly, but so have you. Dolly called me and said she wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest. Rest in peace, Aunt Dolly, Aunt Granny, Gigi. May God bless Dolly Parton, and may God bless you all. She will always love you.
So that was posted on Dolly Parton's Instagram about an hour ago now, and it's been flooded with fans sharing their messages of condolences. You mentioned earlier about the impact this has had on Britain and fans in the UK as well. And there's been tributes from the likes of Amanda Holden has taken to that post and said that she's absolutely devastated. Zoe Ball, the famous DJ, has said branded Dolly Parton an extraordinary woman, a true trailblazer and glorious company. She said she was forever grateful for her music, her passion and her wisdom. Vicky Patterson, you know, this is a reality TV star. She said she's branded her a beautiful, talented and kind woman who will be mourned by many. I feel like we're going to hear a lot more tributes from the next few days from all corners of the globe, from all areas of show business, because the impact that this woman had on the entertainment industry as a whole just cannot be understated.
That's so true, Alex. I think not only a music icon, an icon culturally to so many people all over the world, billions of people perhaps, Alex. She also was a philanthropist as well. She set up Dollywood, the Dollywood Foundation, 1988, to combat high school dropout rates in her home Tennessee. And so she spent a lot of her life also doing charity.
Yeah, exactly. She was so much more than just the music. She helped countless people's lives, let alone bringing joy to their lives through her music and through her TV work and through her other entertainment work, but through the philanthropic work that you've just mentioned there. I mean, how many people would get this statement from a US president saying that Donald Trump tweeted this, well, he posted this on Truth Social, so to speak. He said he was very sad to report that Dolly Parton, one of the greatest country singers and far beyond ever, has just passed away. This is a true loss for millions of people. There has never been anyone like her and never will. In her honor, I am lowering the American flag throughout the United States for a 1-week period beginning tonight at 6 p.m. Rest in peace, Dolly. The world loves you. And that's from the President of the United States. You know, this woman's impact, I can't say it enough, goes beyond what a lot of people have ever seen before.
Certainly does. Our viewers are writing in thick and fast here, Alex, as well. Kat says, so sad to hear that Dolly Parton has passed away. I'm a pensioner, but lots of my musical heroes have sadly passed away too. This is a feeling many people have, isn't it, as well? We're seeing so many big icons lost to us, but so many people writing in tonight about with their thoughts and their memories of Dolly. Here Gary says, Dolly had a multitude of talents, singing and acting. Triple threat, perhaps. Alex, always entertaining. And she's been here in the UK as well, hasn't she? She toured the world. And incredible that she had plans to even come back at her age, which is impeccable that she would even consider doing that as well, Alex.
Exactly. Like I said, she was healing, but she was working right to the very end. And there is, I suppose, one little piece of consolation that we may be able to take away from this is she will now be reunited with her husband, Carl Dean, who died last year, very sadly, at the age of 82. And Dolly actually said that she put her health on the back burner while caring for her husband last year. And she was with him since she was 18 years old. It was a real love story. They stayed together across the decades, across her career. He was by her side throughout. And, you know, that was only a little over a year ago. So if there is any consolation to be taken from this, it's that husband and wife are back together.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Alex Davies, our GB News' entertainment editor there. Thank you for talking us through all of the incredible moments in her life. Coming up in just a moment here, we're going to cross over to Washington, D.C. after the United States President Donald Trump has paid tribute to Dolly Parton and announces that American flags will be lowered to half-mast across the country.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get this on the BBC. Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very, very easy tonight on the
unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB Newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News Bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel. Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Of course, we're all reflecting on the life of Dolly Parton here. Many of you at home are. Elle says, I'm crying again. Pamela says, a great loss. Don't forget she played at Glastonbury, of course. Jill here says, heartbroken about Dolly. Have loved her all my life. Felt like she was a friend. Her music is sensational. Rest in peace, Dolly. You'll be so missed. Kevin says, I've got her autograph. I will sell it for charity now. I think that will be right within her spirit, actually. I've, of course, got my panel with me here. And Stuart, you know so much about Dolly Parton. You know a lot more than I do.
Resident Dolly Parton expert
you
tonight,
are,
Alex.
you are.
It's quite sad to be that person tonight, really, isn't it?
It is a sad time to be that person.
She's like a... Everyone thinks about the glamour about Dolly Parton. She was quite a working-class hero, you know, from Tennessee. She worked really hard. She never really wanted to retire. And everything she did, like, she showed that you could be successful and you could show that and you could enjoy those good things. And she was a philanthropist as well. It actually had, as well as performing in the UK, she actually had a Imagination Library, and she shipped around 200 million books around the world. Many of those were in the north of England as well, so underprivileged schools. And that was because her dad couldn't read and write. And she didn't want children to grow up not having access to their imagination through lack of, you know, inspiration from books. And that's what she, you know, she really pushed across the world. And then as well with Dollywood, she actually sponsored most of the employees through college as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible, really. Of course, I'm always going to think about, you know, Islands in the Stream, Life is Like a Butterfly, you know, all those great things. And she was really brave because, I think I might have mentioned it earlier, she wouldn't give away rights to her songs very easily. She really stuck with it.
Yeah,
so as an independent woman, she really stuck with it.
That's right.
Which is really respectable, to be honest.
Well, hold some more thoughts, Richard, because I'll come back to you for some more in a moment, because we are going to be going live to Washington, D.C. now. GB News presenter Tom Harwood is out there for some more reaction. Tom, what's the feeling out there in the United States right now?
There aren't many issues in the United States in today's day and age that unite North and South, East and West, Republican and Democrat, black and white. And yet this is clearly one of those moments where you can feel this country coming together. When you've had statements across the political spectrum from Donald Trump to Bernie Sanders saying much the same thing about how loved Dolly Parton was, about what Dolly Parton represented about the United States of America. We can see here on the screen at the Hollywood Walk of Fame live pictures of Dolly Parton's star with floral tributes already laid, with people coming to pay their respects to Dolly Parton, someone who spoke across the generations, across what is such a divided country, who represented something deeper, something truer to so many people. Let me just read you a little bit of what Donald Trump put out on Truth Social moments ago, saying that Dolly Parton was one of the greatest country singers and far beyond ever, saying that this is a true loss for millions of people and that there will never be another like her. There has never been another like her and never will. He, of course, continued to say, in her honour, I am lowering the American flag throughout the United States for 1 week. For a 1 week period, beginning tonight at 6 o'clock. Rest in peace, Dolly. Now, 6 o'clock in East Coast time is 11 p.m. British time. And of course, Donald Trump saying there that the world loves you. And I think there is a global reverberation there. Our producer, Will Mayrick, is going down to the White House in just some moments' time to see those flags being lowered. And we'll be bringing those pictures, of course, to GB News at 11 p.m. in British time. But ultimately, as I say, not just Donald Trump bringing in statements here. Bernie Sanders said that Dolly Parton was one of the greatest entertainers of our era, adding that she was a lifelong philanthropist and an advocacy for literacy and education. Interestingly, of course, Dolly Parton, a native of Tennessee, so associated with Tennessee, and Tennessee a state with Republican senators but a Democrat governor. governor. And so these senators, Tim Burchett saying that she's an incredible East Tennessean who served as an inspiration to little girls everywhere. Dolly never changed her accent or forgot where she came from. And indeed, the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, saying that she was an American icon who brought people together and spread joy. He also highlighted the thousands of Kentucky children who received books through her Imagination Library, that charitable project that she was so proud of through her life. It's also worth saying that the Country Music Hall of Fame, which is of course based in Tennessee and has so much tie-in with Dolly Parton, well, they have released a statement saying that Dolly Parton was the most important native of Tennessee, adding that her legacy is not just of celebrity, but of humanity too. Again, it is hard to emphasise just how raw many parts of America are feeling at the loss of Dolly Parton at 80 years of age, which is not a particularly old age in today's day and age, especially with someone with the best access to the best healthcare in the world. This has come as quite a shock to many people, and as I say, as I re-emphasise, this is a moment where the country that can so often feel so fractured is uniting in a sense of grief, but also in a sense of pride of what a shining star Dolly Parton was.
People online are saying it felt like she would be immortal, and I think that perhaps sums up the love for her. People just never thought she was going to go. And just 24 hours ago, some news reports, they were saying that she was teasing a digital version of herself for future Avatar performances. And, you know, so she clearly was with the times, ready to go, still preparing to tour, plans to tour, incredible spirit, even though she was obviously battling a health battle, Tom. She wanted to carry on performing, entertaining, and putting her music out to the world.
And isn't that remarkable, Alex? As you mentioned, that forward-thinking Avatar-style technological innovation alongside country music, one of the oldest and most traditional forms of music. You can really see how she spoke across the generations there. Also, how many other musical celebrities are both religious icons, because so much of her music has so much sort of reverence for the country music traditions, for Christianity, for the way that her mother, of course, growing up in poverty, what was that song about her coat of many colours, where she was sort of making all these allusions back to biblical stories. How many people in the world of entertainment are both icons in the religious world and at the same time are gay icons? Because the LGBT community absolutely adores Dolly Parton as well. And we can see that throughout the generations, throughout the political divide, throughout the geographical divide, Dolly Parton was such a unifying figure for so many people, and I think that will in many ways be remembered as her legacy. Not just the charitable work, not just the amazing music, not just that generational talent for entertainment, but also something quite unique in an ability to bring people together.
Indeed, Tom. I'll leave it with this quote here for you. She said this, when asked about her political opinions, she said, "You'll find me and my opinions in a lot of my songs, but most of it is based on love, acceptance and lifting people up. My daddy was a Republican, my mama was a Democrat, and I'm a hypocrite." What a wonderful quote that is, to leave that on with you there, Tom. One to take forward, I'm sure. We all need a little bit more of that these days, don't we? Tom Harwood, thank you so much for joining us there from Washington, D.C. Really appreciate you being there for us to get some reaction there live from the United States of America. And, of course, your tributes are pouring in on your say. Let's see if we can get one here. We've got Kevin O'Leary says the night sky will be darker. Now one of the brightest stars has gone. Very, very true. Margaret says, so sad to hear the news of the death of Dolly Parton, an icon, a legend, and a wonderful soul. May you rest in peace. But I hope you're singing away in a country music heaven. You'll be sadly missed. Thank goodness for her huge catalogue of songs. Always remembered. Please keep your tributes pouring in. We will be reading them out here on GB News. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to bring you more about, of course, the extraordinary life of the late country superstar, Dolly Parton.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
You're heading away for the final week of summer weather, some unseasonably wet and windy weather pushing through the Bay of Biscay, bringing wet weather to parts of Spain, Portugal, as well as Madeira throughout this week. That's this area of low pressure here. Elsewhere, though, you can see plenty of fine weather moving into parts of Italy and towards the Mediterranean. It's going to be quite hot as well. Temperatures quite widely in the low 30s across parts of Greece this week. And that theme will continue. Does turn a little bit wetter in Nice, though. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. A warm and muggy night to come for many of us. An increasing risk of thunderstorms as well. We do have a number of warnings out for the rest of the week through Wednesday and both Thursday. Low pressure's moving in from the south, from the Bay of Biscay, and that's going to be throwing up warm, humid, moist air that's going to bring that increasing risk of thunderstorms. So we could see a few showers across parts of southwest Wales, southwest England overnight, as well as parts of eastern England through the early hours of Wednesday. Some of that rain pushes into parts of Northern Ireland as well by the start of Wednesday. Further north, though, a dry night to come. Quite a lot of cloud around, and an easterly wind will make for a bit of a fresh start on eastern areas, but elsewhere it's going to feel quite warm and muggy to start the day. Do have a weather warning in force for England and Wales on Wednesday, but further north, much of Scotland will fare the driest throughout Wednesday. More northwestern areas, more sheltered from that easterly wind, seeing plenty of sunshine to start the day as well. Northern Ireland, plenty of cloud around, quite a lot of rain, a chance of those heavy showers as well. But it's across England and Wales where we're expecting the heaviest downpours throughout Wednesday morning. It's central areas of England in particular where we could see 30 to 40 millimetres falling over a few hours, which brings a risk of surface water flooding as well as risk of thunderstorms, so lightning and hail too. It will dry up for a little bit into the afternoon, and many areas will see a dry and sunny afternoon, but there's a risk of some of those thundery downpours as well into the afternoon, so that warning does continue. But in the sunshine, it's going to feel quite hot with temperatures reaching 27 degrees. Another pretty dry day to come across northern areas on Thursday, but to the south it's going to be another wet one with another batch of heavy thundery rain sweeping its way northwards. There's another warning in force, that's for that risk of surface water flooding. So do stay tuned to the forecast if you're in England and Wales. And the bank holiday looks a little bit showery. Bye-bye.
From cold mornings
to warm family brunches,
from football to tennis in the car,
in the kitchen.
GB News Breakfast is there with the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
We're here again to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to State of the Nation. Of course, we're reflecting on the incredible life of Dolly Parton. Please keep your views coming in, gbnews.com/your say. I'll be reading out your tributes throughout this show, but I am here with my panel as well, the spectators, William Atkinson and Labour councillor Stuart Fawcett, both gentlemen who, you know, a great deal about Dolly Parton, it seems. William, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, as somebody who's never actually worked a 9 to 5 in his life, I am personally just in awe of Dolly Parton's work ethic. She truly lived the American dream, you know, born as one of 12 in sort of poverty, and then in rural Tennessee, and then she worked her way up to becoming somebody who sold, you know, 100 million records or more. And in that time, you know, she became a figure that spoke to something deep in the American soul. You know, her songs were so successful not only because of how well written they were, but because, you know, they could appeal both to the wokest Democrats and the staunchest Republican. You know, as we were just hearing about her own sort of political, the own political divides within her own family. But Her first hit single was called Dumb Blonde, but that's most certainly what she wasn't. From her charity sort of giving out books to more than 200 million children around the world, which we've already heard, but also her success as a businesswoman. She was somebody who hauled herself up through both her talents and her initiative. And I think, the people will be very sad to lose her as a songstress, as an icon. But I think as an example for all of us of what we can do if we can put our mind to it, Dolly Parton is certainly a great inspiration.
Yeah, a working class hero, many people say. Stuart, you had some really interesting thoughts and some pop culture stuff.
It was just like blue collar grit, wasn't it, essentially? So, like, as Tom said, she was singing about Christianity in the early days. So Johnny Cash couldn't do that, by the way. Johnny Cash was told very much they didn't want that. And Dolly Parton was able to put it in such a way that it really spoke to people. So, as you said, like, coat of many colours. She was talking about the real struggle she had growing up, but also the references there, to the Bible stories. And that was that kind of family, really authentic feel was at the centre of what she did. But she also could do the glam at the same time. It was completely incredible. And someone else was telling me as well that she also had something to do with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was a secret producer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and apparently they made her birthday on the same date, which is pretty interesting. But I mean, it says something, doesn't it? Obviously, President Trump must have been a Dolly fan, along with the rest of the US, to have flags flown at half-mast for the next week. And I'm really gutted. I think she was a really incredible, inspiring person. And, she was a woman in a man's world coming up. And it was pretty incredible what she achieved. And she was still... To be like Dolly, to be still able to be working at 80 and have that zest for life...
Incredible.
...is something we can all look up to.
Absolutely. I mean, such a hard-working person, but did so much. I mean, so many of us can barely, I struggle enough as it is just doing my one job. And she had multiple jobs. She was selling music, she was doing charity, she was running businesses, she was, as you said, perhaps even working on TV shows. She was also the godmother to Miley Cyrus, I've been told.
Have you never seen the backyard sessions with Miley Cyrus?
No, I haven't.
So she had backyard sessions with Miley Cyrus, and they were just incredible pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
Because she actually, as well as being her godmother, she mentored her. I think Miley had a few rocky periods in her career, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I think she really saw her through that, so that must be really gutting. But a lot of Miley's art is also inspired by Dolly.
Yeah, and you may even see some of the biggest current stars in the world, like Taylor Swift, came through country music into now obviously a global pop sensation. And William, there's this quote that I was reading to Tom Harwood. I'll just pass it back to those of you who might be tuning in now. Dolly Parton, when asked about her political opinions, once has been quoted to say, "You'll find me and my opinions in a lot of my songs, but most of it is based on love, acceptance, and lifting people up. My daddy was a Republican, my mama was a Democrat, and I'm a hypocrite." I think it's a fantastic quote, isn't it? I mean, absolutely wonderful.
Well, she was a sort of great quote bank, wasn't she? Or quotation bank, I should say. I mean, what's her famous line about it takes a lot of money to look this cheap? I think it's one of those things that all of us know, even if we weren't a particular sort of Dolly fan. I think actually that's why her death's had such an impact, because she's one of those great sort of cross-cultural figures that even if you aren't, a particular enthusiast of country music, if you aren't even particularly interested in American music, you know of her. And so I think we'll all feel a great loss. She's a sort of brilliant personality. And I think as a consequence of that, she's one of those people that the more you learn about their life, the more inspirational they seem. And, the more areas in which you discover they sort of worm their way into. So, yes, a great cross-cultural loss.
Indeed. Well, let's go back indeed to GB News' entertainment editor, Alex Davies. Alex, in moments like this, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're reflecting on the life of somebody with such magnitude. Where do you start?
Yeah, and just as your guest pointed out there, the more you learn about Dolly, the more blown away you are. I've just been doing some digging into the philanthropy that she did away from the music, and she did things. She provided financial support to people who lost their homes in Tennessee wildfires, local flood victims. She was putting her support and money behind wildfire recovery, paediatric health initiatives at the local children's hospital in Tennessee, and one that actually I think is most commendable, especially in this day and age when there are so many children who either can't have access to books and literature, or they're just plonked behind a screen. Through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, she's given away over 304 million books to children worldwide to get them reading and to get them learning. And that it just is such an incredible thing, I think, that she did during her lifetime, as well as the music, of course. Going back to the music, obviously she made her debut when she was 13. There's the famous story about when Johnny Cash introduced her on stage at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, one of country music's most iconic and best-known venues. And the venue itself now has released a tribute. It said, "It is with the heaviest of hearts that we say goodbye to a true country music icon, Opry member Dolly Parton. There is no doubt Dolly's mark on the world and on us here at the Grand Ole Opry will be deeply felt for generations to come. She taught us to always lead with kindness, generosity and compassion. May her legacy live on through her songs, the lives she touched, and the countless artists she inspired. There will never, ever be another one like her. We will always love you, Dolly." And we mentioned earlier how her impact goes way beyond just country music. There has been tributes from far and wide. I mean, the UK Country Music Association has released a statement saying that she was far more than a brilliant songwriter and performer. Her generosity through the Imagination Library touched millions of lives worldwide, as I mentioned earlier, with that fantastic effort of getting those books out there to children, not just in the US, but across the globe. And we mentioned a few of the famous faces that have taken to social media and paid tribute. The likes of modern-day superstars like Zendaya has said that there will never be another Dolly Parton. Paris Hilton has called her forever my icon. And Amber Davis, who some of you may know from Love Island or Strictly Come Dancing, but she's a theatre star. And 6 years ago, she was given the chance to headline in the West End 9 to 5, and she has done a statement thanking Dolly Parton. She's called her one of the very first to believe in me. This will always be a highlight of a lifetime. The world will not be the same without you, and from the entire world, thank you. And I think that's a sentiment that is just echoed by anybody that ever came into contact with Dolly Parton and anybody who ever came into contact with Dolly Parton's work. I haven't seen a single bad word. You know, that all of the obituaries are led with headlines like "From rags to rhinestones," you know. This woman from working class backgrounds who embodied the American dream and became such a success story, not just for her generation, but for the generations since. And she will continue to do so, I have no doubt.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Alex Davies there, GB News' entertainment editor. Thank you very much for joining us to reflect more on Dolly Parton's life. Just before we hit the break, I just want to read you a statement here from the former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, who posted this on X just moments ago. Dolly Parton was one of a kind, a great songwriter and performer who told the stories of everyday Americans with honesty, humility and heart. She rose high from her East Tennessee roots and never forgot where she came from. And she always believed in giving back, especially in her efforts to promote literacy. Hillary and I were big fans and first saw her in 1974, and we'll always be grateful for the music and the memories. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family, her legion of fans, and everyone who loved her. OK, well, coming up of Dolly Parton, where you can see the live images there of her star in Hollywood, and we'll bring you more reflection on this.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
I might shock you because I do understand why there are people that perhaps will need to take this because of medical issues. I get that, urgent medical issues. But let's face it, this is actually the greedy goods pill. That's what this is. Do I think it will make people lazy in society? Common sense, of course it will. We all want the magic pill. The concern, of course, with the pill, I'm sure the pharmacists will agree, is the potential side effects of these pills. We need to take personal responsibility in the UK, and at the moment, when it comes to health and many other things, we don't.
Thorin, I could see you shaking your head a little bit there. What do you think?
Well, look, it's not a magic pill. It's a medical intervention for a complex condition. I think calling people lazy is just an easy thing to do because it assumes that people who are struggling with weight just need more motivation.
The People's Channel. Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
I'm thrilled to say now I'm joined by another World War II veteran.
In my judgment, the Mosquito was a better aircraft because it's got 2 Spitfire engines.
And you flew it all over Europe. You told me that you had a particularly memorable flight near Berlin. What happened there?
A shell came up underneath, and it lifted up the aircraft and it interfered for a brief period with the fuel supply. I didn't know. All I knew was I'd got the wind, the propellers were windmilling around and we hadn't any power. And eventually the power came on again, and I leaned across to Doug, my navigator. He was a Canadian, a wonderful bloke. And I said to him, you weren't frightened, were you, Doug? And he said, no, I wasn't frightened, I was bloody terrified.
GB News.
We're only here for like 12 hours. We're flying home at 11 o'clock tonight.
Oh, and mummy and daughter.
Yeah, and it only costs £70, so we thought, well, why not? Because it's cheaper than a supermarket shop.
Supermarket shop or spending the day in Benidorm with cheap booze.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's a no-brainer.
And is there no chance you might just decide we're going to stay?
No, because my husband would kill me.
We did consider it because I said to my mum earlier on, we might just stay and miss the flight, but she's not up for it.
Has your husband actually visited Benidorm on his own?
No, he hasn't. I've been here 27 times. That's my daughter's first time. She's a Benidorm virgin. But
well,
my husband's never been.
Not that he's told you anyway, let's put it like that.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. We're still reflecting on the incredible life of Dolly Parton. I was just going to read some of your views out here. Becky Hale says, loved Dolly, has loved her songs and her films. She'll be very sadly missed by so many all over the world. Eleonora says, Dolly, we thought she'd go on forever. Very sad. Adrian says, rest in peace, Dolly. Sold 200 million records over 7 decades, wrote 3,000 songs. Unbelievable. Yeah, the feeling is very strong with all of you at home tonight. I'm sure she may have touched your lives in many different ways. I'm now joined by entertainment reporter Nelson Aspen. Nelson, thank you so much for joining me on what was a very sad occasion from an incredible woman who changed the world really with her music. She was an icon not just in music but in film and in popular culture.
He has touched so many lives over the course of 7 decades in show business. And we think of the glitz and the glamour, the show of show business. But she was a businesswoman first and foremost, and she built an incredible empire. Very sadly, her husband, whom she was with for over 6 decades, passed away last year. And she's never quite recovered. She was suffering with reportedly some kidney and autoimmune issues, but she was always in good spirits. I know from my years in Hollywood, and I've done a lot of celebrity obituaries, and no celebrity touches people the way that Dolly Parton touches people. She would walk into a room, light up everybody with her smile, making everyone else smile. She knew she had that power. It was a responsibility she took very seriously. She was never without a sense of optimism. I know you've spoken about her philanthropy with her literacy programs. She also donated $1 million at the height of the COVID pandemic to help fund research for a vaccine. She won 11 Grammys, a Primetime Emmy, an honorary Oscar. She had her star on the Walk of Fame, National Medal of Arts, and a Kennedy Center honor. I mean, it just went on and on. And in all the celebrities, whether that's Michael Jackson or Heath Ledger or whatever, I don't think we'll see an outpouring of grief to match this, not since Betty White, because that's how loved Dolly Parton was, to the point where Donald Trump has ordered the flags be lowered to half staff in Dolly's memory.
Oh, yeah, Nelson, she's royalty, isn't she? She's global royalty. J.K. Rowling here has posted this on X. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library was the best contribution to child literacy ever made by a celebrity. Our paths crossed once in the 90s, backstage at a talk show, and I was completely tongue-tied and starstruck. Rest in peace, Dolly. You were a complete, irreplaceable one-off. Nelson, I mean, the tributes are pouring in from all over the world. What made her so magnetic?
Well, she was unstoppable and effervescently optimistic. I mean, you read a statement from former President Bill Clinton. Here we have Donald Trump lowering the flags. You couldn't get more diametrically opposed politically than Clinton and Trump. And yet they both love Dolly Parton. She is the great common denominator. If anyone could instigate peace, harmony, love, it would have been Dolly. Interestingly, she was a godmother to Miley Cyrus. She was a mentor to Kelly Clarkson. She wasn't threatened by the younger generation. She wasn't threatened by anyone else's talent. She was a unique individual. There are no unique individuals left in this world, sometimes it feels like. But Dolly Parton was a complete original. She did not mind sharing the limelight when Whitney Houston recorded I Will Always Love You. She didn't mind sharing the limelight when Beyonce recorded and covered Jolene. She was there to share the love, and share she did through the gifts of her music, her philanthropy, and I think most importantly, her personality. She was never, ever without that $1 million smile.
Oh, absolutely, Nelson. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me this evening to give your thoughts and share tributes of the incredible woman that was Dolly Parton. As entertainment reporter Nelson Aspen, you can see on your screen here live pictures of Dolly's star there on the Hollywood Boulevard, which I'm sure will be absolutely covered in flowers over the next 24 hours. You are all writing in about your thoughts on Dolly here, on Your Say. Rebecca says, massively sad moment. I grew up listening to Dolly. Growing up in the late 80s and 90s was the best. My mum loved her. I think that's why she named me what she did. She had me singing her songs on karaoke. Every pub we went into, we always had Dolly on in the car and when the sun was out. I mean, utterly incredible tributes pouring in all over the world. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. And that's all from us here on State of the Nation. Thank you to my panel for joining me as well. Up next is Patrick Christie's. Patrick, what's coming up on your show?
Yes, Alex, thank you very, very much. Well, we are going to be continuing where you left off, paying tribute to an absolute international icon, a legend, really like no other, Dolly Parton, who wrote 2 hits in one day, Jolene and I Will Always Love You. We're going to be taking the flag-lowering ceremony at the White House live on this show and much more. Stay tuned.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. A warm and muggy night to come for many of us. An increasing risk of thunderstorms as well. We do have a number of warnings out for the rest of the week through Wednesday and both Thursday. Low pressures moving in from the south, from the Bay of Biscay, and that's going to be throwing up warm, humid, moist air that's going to bring that increasing risk of thunderstorms. So we could see a few showers across parts of southwest Wales, southwest England overnight, as well as parts of eastern England through the early hours of Wednesday. Some of that rain pushes into parts of Northern Ireland as well by the start of Wednesday. Further north, though, a dry night to come. Quite a lot of cloud around, and an easterly wind will make for a bit of a fresh start on eastern areas, but elsewhere it's going to feel quite warm and muggy to start the day. Do have a weather warning in force for England and Wales on Wednesday, but further north